Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a pretty interesting show for you guys, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So let me get into this topic here. As you guys are aware, there was a report that came out yesterday, well, a series of reports, really, that came out yesterday or the day before that featured some cryptic posts that John Morant put up on his Instagram story or whatever it was, where he was thanking his family, and at the end of it he said goodbye or something like that. Well, after that, apparently police decided to go see John Morant to investigate whether or not everything was okay. We later found out that all was well with John Morant, that in fact nothing was wrong, and I think I could be wrong. Maybe he released a statement saying he's just stepping away for some time, whatever it is, right? So we heard about that. We didn't really produce a show to cover that because we really thought it was a non-story. So this morning I was just combing through the internet and I stumbled upon a segment from the Gills Arena show, Gilbert Arenas' podcast, and he's now beginning to expand his panel. And on this particular panel, it featured Rashad, Gilbert Arenas, and Kenyon Martin, right? So they were on there and they were basically talking about John Morant, and essentially what they were doing was they were analyzing his behavior, but also what they did was they gave him, I believe, some very, very sobering and sound advice. So what we want to do is we want to play what each of them said. So we want to play a quick compilation of what Rashad, Gilbert Arenas, and Kenyon Martin had to say in terms of John Morant, and then we're going to really come back and get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So take a listen to that there.
We're begging Zebo to come back and such to come back to talk to this kid, but they don't really have the outlets. So for me, I feel like something that can create an opportunity where kids can talk about things that they're going through that they don't want to talk about with their parents, they don't want to talk about with other teammates. It's just like a safe place. But for Josh, like, it's hard for him to learn a lesson when everybody's cheering him on for his mistakes. Like, when people go to jail and they do something on it, we like, yeah, man, let him out. You know, free this person, free that person. It's like, man, but he just did some shit that you don't need to be free from. Jada made a mistake, and everybody around him is just patting him on the back like, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. It's not. It's not going to be okay. And the fact that you made a lot of money is not going to shield you from the fact when you go out in public, people look at you as a disappointment because you had so much potential to be such a beacon of light to so many kids that you just destroyed that trying to be cool. And it's like, if you're going to be cool, but you don't got to be cool and be reckless.
No, I agree with both guys, man. It's just, it's an unfortunate situation for him, but I'm a firm believer in you need to learn. If you don't learn from other people's mistakes, then you're going to make them. So you're going to learn one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said it before on this show, my mom used to tell me all the time, man, a hard head make a soft
mm-hmm.
all the time. And I got plenty of whoopings because of that. Mm-hmm. Like, not listening. She tell me one thing, I do this. She tell me that, I do that. So moving forward in life, those lessons and things that you hear early on start to manifest.
Mm.
Small trouble lead to big trouble. So it's unfortunate, like I said, it's unfortunate that we're here, and hopefully he's learned a lesson from this, and hopefully he has good people in his corner now that wants nothing but the best for him. Damn the basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Damn that. Because he need to get this in order to do that. So hopefully he can get his mom there, somebody who can have his ear and his heart to get him to change his ways, man. So that's just what it is at this point.
I really do have a question. I'm gonna look into it. I now want to listen to his interviews after games and before games now, because it's not the same behavior.
Yep.
It's not like, you would think that this type of behavior will be on court too, off court. Like you would think it. So I want to see how he talks in just regular interviews, and it just seems like this behavior. It seems like it's just
Yeah, because it's the people you're around. It's the attention thing.
Do
you know
it
what
for
I'm
the
saying?
gram. It's the do it
It's,
for the gram.
it's the attention, man. Like
You need more attention for.
because he's growing up in this era where everything is important that you're doing.
Yes.
I want everybody to see me at all times.
That's it.
So you heard what they had to say in terms of their advice to John Morant. First of all, I want to touch on what Kenyon Martin said. Kenyon Martin is clearly a father, right? And he also has a son that's playing in the NBA. I believe he's a forward that plays with the Houston Rockets. Very athletic young guy, plays with the same kind of ferocity and intensity that his dad did. And as I was listening to Kenyon Martin speak, you could tell that he was speaking from the position of a father, but he was also saying it in a way that was kind of delivered with a little bit of tough love, right? I believe that everything Kenyon Martin said was true. Number one, he said, there are two ways you can learn. You can learn from others' experiences and what other people went through, or you can learn by going through those very same experiences for yourself. That's wisdom. That's 100% true. He also spoke about how he was disciplined as a young kid coming up, that his parents didn't quote unquote spare him the rod. And he said that if you were troublesome or hard of hearing, you would be disciplined by your parents, which essentially was a metaphor. And the metaphor was, if you don't self-correct, people will self-correct you. The environment around you will correct you if you don't self-correct, right? So I thought he gave some very sound advice, and he was speaking from the standpoint of a father. He wasn't up there twerking it up. He wasn't up there trying to, rub his tummy and say, "Oh, son, I love you." He was giving you nice, straightforward, wholesome advice. I also thought what Rashad McCant was saying was solid. I thought what he was saying was solid. I agreed with the points that he put forward. And I think Gilbert Arenas brought up a good point as well, which was, I want to see the before and after of this guy. But what I liked about the overall piece, this segment rather, what they had to say was they were giving him some straightforward advice that if you had children, you would give. And the thing that kind of perplexes me about this entire matter is that people are willing to give Jaws some leeways that they wouldn't give their own kids. Right? They're willing to say, "Oh, Ja, do this. Oh, Ja, you can do that." But if there was their own kids, they would not give them that same advice, which means that people just want to be entertained. And if it means that if a young man has to throw away his life to entertain you, then so be it. I like the advice that they gave. It was straightforward. There was no nonsense. And I think we need a little bit more of that. We need a little bit less coddling. We need older guys to be a little bit more straightforward and to be a little bit more honest. Right, because I think Kenyon Martin was right on the money. John Morant stands to lose a lot. Right, he stands to lose a lot, but he also stands to gain a lot. Right, I mean, he's a young guy. I believe he's 22, 23 years old, and he has a wonderful future ahead of him. So these guys are basically saying, "Hey, bro, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up." Gilbert Arenas definitely tried to do it. Gilbert Arenas said, "Hey, listen, look at my mistakes. Learn from them. Right? So to me, I think it was fantastic advice. Right now, I think all we're waiting for is to hear what the NBA is going to say in terms of the suspension they're going to give him. I was listening today to a segment from Undisputed where they basically speculated that the NBA will not be making a statement until the finals is over and until the NBA draft is over, because they don't want this particular news overshadowing those things that are happening right now. And Skip Bayless, funny enough, today actually put forward a pretty surprising proclamation, which was he believes that Ja may get less than 10 games, which to me, I really don't see that happening. And if that happens, I think it's going to create a lot of problems, because some people are going to say, if you suspend Ja for 10 games, wasn't that essentially the amount of games he missed last time? It was 8 games. So how is that some type of suspension? I don't agree with Skip Bayless. And as a matter of fact, when he put forth that point, Shannon Sharp vehemently disagreed with him, that there's no way Ja's getting 10 games. But anyway, back to the show. I think what they said was spot on, and I like a lot of what Kenyon Martin had to say. So the question is simply this: what do you think about the advice that Rashad McCant and Kenyon Martin and Gilbert Arenas had to give John Morant in this particular show? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you on the next show. Peace.